Welcome back to Ground Signal 101, Session 4. Turning Insights into Action. In the last session, we learned how Ground Signal's advanced AI uncovers the consumer signals driving growth. It shows what guests want and where demand is already forming. But data alone doesn't close deals. Insights do. Here's the challenge. Too many sales calls still start with products, but buyers care more about what their guests are asking for. When those two things don't line up, conversations stall. Ground Signal fixes that by showing you demand before it's obvious. Ground Signal Insights shift the conversation from what you sell to how you help. It captures how people talk about drinks, flavors, and occasions, what their key competitors are doing, and it suggests the solutions that help your customers become more profitable, helping you close more deals and capture market share from the competition. In short, it gives guests what they want and helps the customer be more profitable. In this week's session, we will dive deeper into the platform to reveal more about turning insights into action. Here's what to do now. This takes about 3 minutes. Log into the Ground Signal platform. If you completed Session 1, you'll land on your territory overview. You should recognize the territory overview from our last session. A quick look at the page confirms we are looking at the top on-premise experience mentions and consumer behaviors associated with the 62,040 accounts in the Western United States. I can also see that the top 2 cocktails mentioned in this region are margaritas and martinis. In this session, let's explore what opportunities exist in the accounts with tequila mentions. To do this, click in the Attributes section on the left side of the window. This brings the Attributes view, allowing you to easily search for specific social media mentions. In this case, we want to see what opportunities exist in accounts with specific tequila mentions. To do this, click into the search window and type in tequila. Select tequila from the experience we are looking for mentions and click Confirm. This takes us back to the territory overview screen, but the screen now displays the top occasions, environment, and cocktails for the 12,414 accounts with specific consumer posts mentioning tequila. Looking at the top cocktails section now shows a 179% increase in margarita mentions in accounts with posts mentioning tequila and a 53% increase in mentions of martinis. Let's dive a little deeper into what insights we can capture from this subset of accounts. To do this, click on the Insights tab in the navigation ribbon. You'll notice that the navigation window has changed. It now shows the environments which we are in now: cocktails, flavors, alcohol, occasions, etc. Remember, these are all social mentions, not sales. We will dive into the Sales tab in a later session. Since we are looking for margarita opportunities, let's look at the flavor insights at accounts with tequila mentions. To do this, simply click the Flavors tab in the navigation ribbon. This will open the Flavors Insights page. Here you will see 2 windows. On the left is the Top Volume Flavor Mentions window. It shows you the top flavor mentions based on share of total flavor mentions versus the control group, in this case accounts in the US. Looking at the top of the window, we can see that consumers are 21% more likely to mention orange in top tequila accounts in the West compared to accounts in the US. Looking further down the page, we can see spicy is mentioned in 5.7% of the total posts in the West, which is 24% more frequently, and tropical flavors are mentions in 1.7% of the flavor posts, which is 58% more frequently. To the right is the top growing flavors window. It shows you the fastest growing flavor mention. Looking at the top of the window, we can see passion fruit flavor mentions have grown 20% over the past 2 years. Looking further down the page, we can see jalapeno growing by 30% and guava growing by 18%. And since we noticed martini mentions growing on the territory overview page, we should take note of the fact that espresso mentions are growing by 43%. Let's now return to the overview page where we can wrap things up. To return to the overview page, click the Insights button at the top of the screen. This opens a window showing shortcuts to the various Insights windows. Click on Overview to return to your territory overview. Let's recap what we just learned. We now know there are 12,414 accounts in the Western United States where consumers have mentioned tequila in their social media posts. We know that margarita mentions plus 179% and martini mentions plus 63%. increase in accounts with tequila mentions, and we know that 2 of the top 10 flavor mentioned in those accounts are spicy and tropical, and the fastest growing flavors include jalapeno, guava, and espresso. We now have some insights to present to the customer. Now pause. Identify one trend that stands out in your market and ask yourself, where could this show up on a menu? That's the takeaway. Start with what consumers already want. Join us next week to learn how to identify menu gaps and turn them into simple, buyer-friendly sales stories. If you found this helpful, remember to like and subscribe. Until next week.